like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. We up in this thing, Sports Coma, representing the fam. Much love. Like I've been saying for some time now, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fan. We up in this thing. Shout out to you guys. Thank y'all for chiming in on this Saturday afternoon. Happy afternoon, or happy Saturday, or happy damn weekend, because it was a long week. So I hope you guys are enjoying it, and we popping on in here to kind of enjoy it with you. So shout out to y'all. Thank y'all. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We up in this thing. Shout out to the fam. We got a very special guest chiming with us in this episode of the Coma. My brother, Big Game James from the Big Game Sports Network is in here to talk about the Saints and the Bucs. Brother James is a former defensive lineman for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And who else better to talk about the Bucs and the Saints matchup besides Brother James? Brother James, how you doing, sir? Welcome on in.
A pleasure when I get a chance to come on and talk Buccaneers football and NFC South football with you. So thanks a lot for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, forever, man. It's always good to talk to you, my brother. And starting it off, bro, both of our clubs had some very interesting losses this past weekend, man, especially with the Saints being up on the Green Bay Packers and losing 18-7, dropping 18 points to this team in an 11-minute time span, which is what I called it during the live stream, an epic collapse. So we collapsed there. And then, of course, Green Bay played Detroit recently on the Monday night, and Detroit just showed everybody, listen, this the team right here. This team ain't hitting on nothing. This is who y'all had problems with. And they had Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, and all that kind of stuff. So we know what time that is, but kind of made us look a little worse. But now we have an opportunity to kind of see if we can get on the right side of that thing against your Bucs. But your Bucs also had a Monday night matchup against Philly.
Yeah.
And Philly did everything they could do. They ran it. They kind of demoralized. I think Tampa Bay's best portion of the team, to me, is the defense. And Philadelphia literally outclassed them. They were able to smush them on out the way with the running attack and all that kind of stuff. So just talk to me, bro, about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, how they struggled in the loss and how they need to do what they need to do to fix it against the black and gold.
Well, Q, coming into it, man, I knew that our week 3 matchup against the Eagles was going to be the key matchup. You know what I mean? Not to take anything away from Minnesota in week 1 or Chicago in week 2, but I knew for us to see if we were really hitting on all cylinders, week 3 was going to be the test on Monday Night Football. And we made DeAndre Swift look like, an all-pro. And I like Swift as a running back. He was great in Detroit, great at the University of Georgia, and 137 rushing yards, I think, or 157 rushing yards, what it was on Monday night. And then the real test, like I said, Baker Mayfield coming in. If Baker is not pressured, he's not a bad quarterback. And he had not been pressured a lot those first 2 games. And then to come back and Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, those interior linemen, along with Cox and everybody else of Philadelphia, applied some pressure, had Baker Mayfield with happy feet. He turned it over, didn't have a lot of success, couldn't get Mike Evans the ball often. And, it showed in the final score with 25-11. And Jalen Hurts gave us the ball a couple times, but as soon as we got it back on defense, we gave it right back on offense. So we can never capitalize on the turnovers. And so those are the things I've said all year, that we cannot have turnovers with this type of quarterback that we have behind center. We just can't have the turnovers from Baker Mayfield.
Right, and you had reservations. I remember we did the NFC South roundtable. You had reservations about what was going on with Baker Mayfield and whether or not Baker Mayfield could be the guy for the team. Now, of course, you 2-1 right now is not so bad, so a lot of people still thinking that he can remain there. But if things go south for Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the next several weeks, Kyle Trask get an opportunity, and I think Kyle Trask is the unknown. A second round pick that might be able to lead the team into the future. But let's get into it, because we were looking at statistics on the last stream I did, the Wednesday stream, and we were talking about all the stuff that the black and gold defense, our offense statistically and from the eyeball test, is a top 10 defense. Now we will be missing several people for this upcoming matchup against Tampa Bay as we kind of switch gears to the injury report here. And this is the one that we got for Friday's injury report, showing that Jordan Howden, our young safety that we drafted, who was starting in the last game, is out with a finger issue. Derek Carr is questionable. Didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, was limited. Some people seen him reported that he was actually throwing the football and during practice. And it's an overall sense here that Carr could possibly play in this game. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but this sense that he can actually more than likely play in this matchup. Me personally, I don't know. I've heard the report or him, what he was saying about how his shoulder feel, all this kind of stuff. Thanks for playing it. Pretty smart. So anyway, Cesar Ruiz, our starting guard, he's out with the concussion, Paulson Adebo, his second straight game, I think it is. He's out with a hamstring issue. And then Foster Monroe was questionable, which is our tight end, more than likely will play. Now, Tampa Bay, we know Carlton Davis was questionable. Jamal Dean is out. Dennis is out. Kalaja Cansey is out. Derek Pitts, the cornerback, is out. Evita Vey and Devin White are questionable, so we believe they will play. So kind of talk to us, Brother James, about some of these impact players and what you expect the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense to kind of do with some of these guys missing.
We rely heavily on our defense, Q. You just said it. And Kalaja Cansey, our first-round draft pick, he's been out in 2 games. So it's you want to see if he can really be that piece that we need to add to the defensive line to do some things. And even Servassier Dennis, being a fourth-round pick linebacker out of Pittsburgh this year as well, he was supposed to serve on special teams and be able to relieve Devin White and Davis when we needed him to, and he's out. So that hurts. Jamel Dean, to me, is the biggest piece, being out, going against that Saints offense where you got Olave, Thomas is back, and y'all got another good young wide receiver that's been playing very well so far this season for y'all. So to have him out of the game this week is big to me. And just real talk, we're going to need Christian Azim to play well. The young safety out of Rutgers, he's not very big, but he is an impactful player when he comes downhill to hit. But he's going to have a game, man, especially with the other, people being out. And then Jamel Dean is that's a big piece. Like I said, especially with Olave and man, Thomas, I think is getting better every week for y'all, ready to get back to that old form. And then not to mention, your man Alvin Kamara gets to come back this week from the suspension. And, the Kalaja Cansey, who's supposed to help be a force up front, is not there. So we shall see, brother.
Yeah, well, you're right, bro. It's all about adjustments. It's a month worth of football we'll complete with the matchup, and it's flying by. We've gotten Kamara back off of his suspension. A lot of stuff we're really kind of excited about the Kamara effect, and our offense needs consistency from the offensive line. I haven't seen our offensive line play this bad collectively in some time. We struggled at times throughout the years, but never in a facet where you've had guys that have some synergy. They've played together, and then all of a sudden, these same guys are having issues making the blocks. Every game is a struggle for the Saints to run the football. And we have to figure a way to do it. So, yeah, we got a few guys. Yeah, credit to Michael Thomas. He's been there performing. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, they're fantastic.
That's what I was thinking about, Rashid Shaheed. That's the name I was like, wow. They got another one.
Right, he's another one, bro. So, I mean, we got some players, man, that we have that's a part of our offense that should help us win the game. So before I get into my spiel, talk to me, Brother James, about some of the players, because you made mention of a couple of guys. Some unknown players. Let the Who Dat Nation, the rest of the family members know about some of the games, some of the unknown players, the diamond and the rougher guys that you think could have an impact in this matchup.
Yeah, like I said, big time. Christian Azim is one that he's been getting a lot of love since he's been there, doing well in practice and having to step up and play more so is going to be a big one. I think that he helps a lot. Joe Tryon-Shanker, he's not a young guy going into his third year, but coming into the season on a lot of my shows and a lot of my other Buccaneers shows that I've been a guest on, we've talked about how JTS has got to turn into a double-digit sack guy if the Buccaneers are going to have success. And he had a 2-sack game against Chicago. He showed some glimpses. We hope that he's going to get there to get things done, and it should help out a lot if he can get going and get playing. He's got to help put pressure on, because I said one of my keys to victory this week, especially if Jameis is going to be the quarterback and not Carr, we've got to put pressure on Jameis because he will force that ball in there if he's under duress and give it back to the other team. Another one of my favorites, man, that everyone is ranting and raving about, and he had another good game. He did okay against Philly, but great against Chicago, was our third-round pick, Yaya Diaby, the defensive end out of Louisville. Especially with Kalijah Cansey being out, he's going to have to play more inside and outside. And they even put him in over Logan Hall a couple times this past week to get rush inside and out in that 3-4 defense. And I think that Yaya Diaby is going to have to make some plays against the Saints this week in a more effective role to help alleviate some things, especially if Vita's banged up with that pectoral muscle that they say that he has right now.
Yeah, Brother James, I think that and we got a couple of players that we kind of make mention of, bro, that we could talk about that's a part of the Saints team. Of course, a lot of people don't know too much about Rashid Shaheed. They're following it now. Some of our unknown players, but guys like we like Alante Taylor, another guy that's special that a lot of people going to know about real soon. So the Saints have a few diamonds in the rough players, but pretty sturdy guys that's really going to make names in themselves. Carl Granderson is another guy who's the opposite guy that ball. He had 5.5 sacks for the Saints last year. He's stepping up, doing some great things for him this year. Yeah. So overall, what we're doing is we got some people, man, that can really help us in this thing. So, let's go over some of the team statistics, Brother James, man, because the reality is, man, we have a few things that we dealing with here that is interesting by the highest order. I mean, let me see if I can share my screen right here. There it is. Okay, let me kind of superpose that thing. There we go. All right, so anyway, we already went through the injury report. You see Baker Mayfield's number, 62 of 93 for 636, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not bad for Baker Mayfield. Not, right, exceptional, but still in all, 4 touchdowns to 1 interception is not bad. In essence, he's really doing better than Derek Carr is, through his numbers, 57 of 87 for 636, same amount, but 2 touchdowns versus 2 picks. So, in essence, he's looking better than Carr. That's something to say. Baker Mayfield's looking better than Carr statistically right now. Rashad White, 48 carries, a $150 in the score. Taysom Hill's our top rusher, which is showing our running attack. Top back, Elvin Kamara comes back, but back by committee, Jamal Williams got hurt. He's on the short-term IR. We had to bring in Kentre Miller, who was banged up. He came in and helped out. And then we had Tony Jones Jr. And then Taysom Hill was mixed in the package. So we had like running back committee here. So we'll see how Kamara does coming back. And Mike Evans, 17 catches for 297, 3 touchdowns versus Chris Olave, 22 catches for 302. No scores there. But these are the couple big players right now for our squad. Team statistics, as it shows, 290. That are total yards, the offensive wise that the Buccaneers are putting up versus almost 342 yards by the Saints. Bucks 212 through the air and 78 rushing yards on the ground. I think that's dead last in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken. 248.3 is the sorry to throw that at you, Brother James. All right, but 248.3 is what the Saints do through the air offensively and run at it 93.3, which is well below what we're capable of doing, but it is what it is. Defensively speaking, 380.3 is what the Buccaneers are doing total through 3 games, 277.3 through the air, and they're allowing 103 yards flat on the ground. Saints defense, top 10, 303 flat, 203.3 through the air of the secondary, and they're keeping you under 100 yards rushing barely per game. All of the statistics in terms of the defense for the Saints are top 10 in the NFL. Offensive, top 21, 27, all this kind of crap. So we know what we're looking like. So, Brother James, with that being said, man, how did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers graft a stratagem to defeat the Saints based on what you know?
Well, first and foremost, man, you hit something that I really was ready to speak on, and it's a rushing offense. When Canellis came in as the offensive coordinator from Seattle, he said a lot of what he did up there was predicated off being able to do play action pass. We said that this was going to be Rashad White's turn to show that he could be the number one back with Fournette being gone and not being here anymore. And we have not had success running the ball at all. Rashad White even did some things that he didn't do his rookie year. He turned the ball over. He put the ball on the ground against Philadelphia. And first and foremost, defensively, we're going to have to slow down your running attack, because when we've done that in the previous 2 games, we were pretty good. When we let Swift run on us, it was bad. I felt a lot better containing the Saints before Kamara was back. Now him being back, ready to get on the field and get back to work, it's going to be a little bit of a tougher task, especially, like I said, with some of the inconsistent play we've had up front. Logan Hall's going to have to step up and be the second-round draft pick that we made in B. But yeah, Rashad White has got to run the ball. Chase Edmonds is out now on IR. We brought him in this offseason trying to get help. So now we're relying on Sean Tucker and Keyshawn Vaughn to be our backups. And this is when I told you so comes in for me, because I told everyone in the offseason, it's going to sound crazy or cliche, but we need to go find a running back that can help take the pressure off of Baker Mayfield. And we didn't really do that. We relied solely on White, who's in his second year. And I think it's gonna hurt a little bit. But key for us this week, if we can corral Kamara, pressure Jameis Winston, and we have to find a way to hold up in our secondary against those receivers you have, with one of our best playmakers, Jamel Dean, being out of the game. So how we do that, like I said, that's why I keep going back to Christian Azine having to step up in the rest of that secondary, stepping up to make plays, because it's going to be a tall task to try to slow down that passing attack if you don't have all your number ones in there.
Yeah, that's interesting, Brother James. And let's not get it twisted. Tampa Bay has the defense to be able to accomplish some of the things that you're talking about. It's up to our black and gold Saints to kind of counterbalance that. Like, we know Elvin Kamara is definitely a person that represents a lot of offense. He represents so much of our offense, and when he's not there, we have to do other things. But he's a perfect player for what the Saints are trying to do. A lot of our explosiveness just simply hasn't been there consistently. There were plays where the Saints would get downfield on a big, beautiful catch to Chris Olave. Outside of those explosive plays, a lot of them have been missing because you talked about Jameis. It's nothing that I can tell you about Jameis that you don't know, being that Jameis was with you guys for all those years.
Mm-hmm.
We know that these guys, both of them, I talked about it on the stream several times, is that the Saints quarterbacks, Derek Carr and Jameis Winston, these are gunslingers. Their first thought is to get the ball downfield. I tape the film work on Patreon all the time, and the first thing you see with Derek Carr he's holding on to the ball. When he got sacked on the play where he got hurt and the guy threw him down, Rasheem Gary, he was holding on to the ball too long. The Saints offensive line bought him enough time to get rid of that ball. He had Graham, that was flashing 5 yards in front of him, and he's steady looking deep for a deep shot.
He didn't want to dump it. He didn't want to dump it. He wanted the home run.
You got to fight those urgencies. That's the thing about being a good quarterback that I've noticed. We've seen that with Drew Brees too. Sometimes you got to be a check down king, but sooner or later the defense will present a opportunity for you to throw the deep ball. You got to be patient.
Right.
So I mean, we've seen that happen here. Whether it's Carr or Jameis, they're both gunslingers. We understand that Jameis' last matchup, I think the last time he played was against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team when Devin White pulled him down and hurt him. So if he does play, this could be a bit of a revenge for the Saints, up against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. My thing is the Saints haven't ran the ball at all pretty well. We know that you talking about with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was paying attention to that. I was like, yeah, I like the running back, but the running attack hasn't been where it's supposed to be. It's in terms of statistically, it's the worst in the NFL. Let's continue that. And the Saints are a very good defense, and I think they will do that. A lot of it has to be pressured. The matchup against Green Bay, we didn't get but one sack, and that was a blitz from the cornerback or the nickelback position where Alontae Taylor got in there and got the sack on him.
Yeah, that did surprise me, Q, especially the way, Cam plays and Granderson going into that game had 2.5 sacks in the first 2 games.
Yes.
So that did surprise me a little bit that I thought I was going to see. I thought y'all would get to Jordan Love more, so I thought y'all would have more success in the pass rush against Jordan Love in that Green Bay game. I was kind of surprised by that.
I was too, my friend. I was looking at him like, man, and then it was so it hurt so many ways because Green Bay were lacking 2 of their best offensive linemen. Bakhtiari wasn't there, or Elston wasn't there. None of those guys were there. They had backups there, and we couldn't get home. There was some pressure, but not enough pressure to make Jordan Love uncomfortable. And once he got in the rhythm, he was making rhythm throws on the secondary. It was over with. You can't allow him to get in the rhythm. But with that being said, the Saints have to turn up the pressure on Baker Mayfield, force him in the errors. You talked about Jameis Winston or Derek Carr, whoever it is, pressuring them so they give up the ball, the turnover. And truth of the matter is that's true. You pressure most quarterbacks, they do make dumb decisions and force the ball where it don't belong. Sometimes they think that their arm could bail them out. I've seen windows where Jameis makes the throw, windows where he gets in trouble because he think he can make the throw between tight windows. He can there's 3 players circulating around your wide receiver. I can fit the ball in there. I got it. I got the on. I could do it. And then next thing you know, he throws it and it's some kind of way something bad happens. But we need the keys to the victory in terms of me, the Saints have to be able, from offensive standpoint, they have to rediscover who they are. And I'm saying the Saints don't have an identity. And I want you to tell me, we know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers identity is a defensive first team. Offensively, whether they are passing or running team, the Saints aren't that. And people say, well, Q, we are a passing team. We are a pass then run team. We're a pass and run team right now. Not because we're comfortable doing that, because we're forced to do it, because our offensive line has allowed 12 sacks in 3 games. Yeah, that's ridiculous and that's stupid. We can't allow that to happen. So that must be cleaned up. We have to be able to run the ball, take pressure over whoever the quarterback is. And when we get down to the red zone, we got to find our tight ends, big tight ends like Jimmy Graham, Foster Monroe, Jawan Johnson. These are big players, and there'll be weapons for us in the red zone. We got to be able to get down there. We got to handle the business. So we know it's always going to be a close game, Brother James. It always is close games. I think last year, the 2 games that we had against Tampa Bay, we had opportunities to win both those games and allow them to, you guys to sweep us last year. Hopefully this year we'll kind of be a little bit better with what we're doing here. So it's a long spiel, but we had pressuring Baker Mayfield and doing some stuff. But you guys have opportunities because we are missing some people. Marcus May was suspended, so he'll be out for another couple of games. We down the starting safety. The guy that was backing him up, our rookie, he's out, so there'll be a new starter there. Paulson Adebo is out for this game, so we'll see Alontae Taylor there, and Isaac Yiadom, who's a young cornerback, will be in the nickel position, which unless he learns how, and I like Yiadom, but Yiadom has to learn how to turn and locate the ball, or it's going to be barbecue city. That's the bottom line. You got to turn around and locate the ball. So you throwing the ball, you guys might have some opportunities because we are ailing right now in our secondary.
Yeah, we should be able to throw the ball. We hope, but at the same time, Q, the thing that worries me is this offensive line is still not playing with great consistency for Tampa Bay right now. It's okay. It's been holding up with the pass protection pretty well. I mean, Baker has only been sacked 3 times all year, protected fairly well until last week. But, Jensen going out, we still leave Hainsey at center. Hainsey's been solid, but I still believe this, being an old defensive tackle myself, You put a 6'7" guy in front of a shorter nose guard like myself, I'm about to try to destroy and get underneath his pads and believe that I can put pressure on that quarterback. I just think he's more of a guard or a tackle. I like the way that the rookie Cody Mack is playing. He's still got to learn, but we could not get things done to help get that run game going last week. It scares me. And then I think also the Saints have two edge players in Granderson and Cam Jordan that could put pressure. Wirfs is going to hold his side down, but Gadecki's been hit or miss since he's been with us. So it's those are the things that still are going to dictate. Now I believe Baker can take advantage of that secondary if he has the time, and I believe I'm always interested to see what Mike Evans and Latimer are going to do when they line up against one another. And Chris Godwin finally started coming into having a better season. Well, he got more catches last week. I shouldn't say a better season. He just got more targets and more balls last week. So those two together, along with the young guy Trey Palmer, we have receivers that can take advantage of an ailing secondary if the protection is going to be there.
Right. You're absolutely right, brother James. I agree with you on that. And that's the point. Like, we know that they're going to look for opportunities in the secondary. Guys got to step up. Pressure it's definitely got to be there. Pressure wasn't there, or sacks wasn't there last week against Green Bay. We got to take advantage of that. The fact that you guys are operating on a short week, we got to take advantage of that. So, I mean, all this stuff right here is prime real estate for the Saints to operate and move and take care of things and improve the 3-1 before we end up going to New England and take on Bill Belichick's New England Patriots. So, I mean, what's New England? What the hell is New England? It's Boston. But anyway, this is that's the factors that we're dealing with. So, brother James, let me ask you this about you talk about Rachaad White, which is a very capable running back. He's a very capable back. I know you want to compliment, and they have the other guy that I think the man, what's his name? Tucker. Tucker is Keyshawn Tucker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sean Tucker and Keyshawn Vaughn. So we know you guys mentioned the running attack, but have we been wrong about Baker Mayfield? Is Baker Mayfield actually I know Brother Rashad and Brother Dave says Baker. His favorite term is Baker. Bro, Baker's trash. But Baker's numbers is better than Carr. So could we have been wrong about Baker Mayfield's QB play for the for the Bucks?
I think a little bit, Q. When I say that is, I was big. I was a big cheerleader of Kyle Trask. I wanted to see Kyle Trask get a shot. I thought the whole Baker Mayfield signing and thrown in, they said it was a competition, but they pretty much knew at the second preseason game, they said that Baker was going to be the starter. I think Baker still has a draw. Baker Mayfield is appealing to the NFL fan. Even if you want to see him do bad, it still draws. And I think Tampa played into that a little bit. He made pretty good decisions in the first two games. And it made me change my mind a little bit, like, okay, I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm going to give Baker a chance to see how he really plays and see if he turns a new leaf. Because I do think, and not to go back to what was in the past, when Baker Mayfield went to Carolina, I still think they wanted, in Matt Rule's offense, they were going to ask him to do more than what he probably should have been doing, and it was a bad outcome. I think Canales, trying to be a little bit more conservative, is not going to ask Baker to do too much. Ask him to make the easy reads. Cade Otton is proven that he's going to be a dependable young tight end in the NFL. I think he's going to be good for us. So I believe Baker can get it done if protected. And I know that sounds cliche, like everybody says that, well, if the quarterback stands upright, he'll be good. We see some guys stand upright and still make bad decisions and throw bad balls. I think Baker is capable of getting it done if he's not asked to do too much and he is allowed to use his legs just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, James. Like, okay, we look at the statistics between Baker Mayfield. I had him on the screen just a moment ago, and then you kind of look at Carr statistics. And even though a lot of people believe they're in two different NFL worlds or, and abilities right now, you see what Derek Carr is doing, and statistically speaking, the numbers favor Baker Mayfield. But usually in 4 games, bro, a month, and we know, Brother James, how this goes in terms of you go through the preseason, training camp, preseason, and the starters rarely play more than a series or two during the preseason. So when the regular season comes, you're going to see a lot of, the first several weeks, you're going to see a lot of ugly football, a lot
Yeah,
of
real ugly
football. There's going to be a lot of error-filled football. Guys got to, get used to playing next to each other and tendencies and all that kind of getting the game plan down, knowing which plays they want to roll with and how everything goes. But usually right around that 3 to 4 week mark is when you start seeing the good teams start finding out who they are and executing. And that's what I'm looking at for the Saints. After a big letdown against the Green Bay game where they just totally imploded, which was just just horrendous and awful and just all kind of bad stuff. You get a team on a short week. You get a team, that has some issues offensively. They have some issues running the football. This is one of the games where you expect the Saints, and they're coming into our building here. We don't have to travel to theirs. We expect the Saints to have a big outcome. So before we leave, Brother James, I wanted to just kind of give me your thoughts on that, and also how you think the game plays out, and give me a score prediction, if you please.
All right, not a problem, Q at all. First and foremost, man, and I know I'm not just saying this, and Rashad and Dave and Big Country might get mad at me, but I honestly believe after watching these first 3 weeks of football, I believe that the Saints and Buccaneers, whoever can win, but these division games, I think have the best chance of winning the division. I just honestly believe that. If we can go in on the road, keep our poise, and protect our quarterback, I do think that the Buccaneers can come out victorious, but I don't see this being no high-scoring game. I don't know why, especially if y'all are limited to Jameis being your quarterback. If our defense can hold up in the secondary, I think we'll get the pass rusher we need. I'm going to say 21-17 Buccaneers hold on to win this game in the Mercedes-Benz Dome.
All right. So that'll definitely kind of get things moving and turning, because that means that Baker Mayfield's squad will be 3-1, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people in the NFL world did not see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers having a 3-1 record after a month worth of football, and the Carolina Panthers sitting up there at 0-3.
Yeah.
So just not to take a shot at my boy Dave and Rashad, but I'm just saying, Shad, bro, you and Dave, man, y'all club sitting up there over 0-3. Could be 0-4 next week, brother. So this is very interesting how things turn in the NFL. A lot of people thought that big game James squad, the Bucks, will be, sitting up here looking busted. And
no one really gave us a chance week one, Q. I know that for a fact. And I'm not going to lie. If you just looked at the stats and didn't see the score, if you looked at the box, the box numbers and just saw stats, you were like, damn, Minnesota killed Tampa Bay. But because that defense forced your boy into Cousins into those turnovers, they actually had a chance to win the game, and they did win the game. But yeah, it wasn't pretty, but they found a way to get it in Chicago. Chicago's a dumpster fire right now, man. They just hanging on for dear life. So that's why I say I knew the Eagles would be a test, and all our division games are gonna be hard. I mean, don't everybody in the NFC South, I know how it is when we play each other. It's gonna be a tough one, but it's just something out to me recently with the Buccaneers and the Saints and the way we came back and won at home in that last game we played y'all last year. It's just like, I know it's a bad taste in the Saints' mouth, and they want to win this game. And if Jameis does play, he has something to prove, especially with being hurt last year against Tampa. So it's going to be tough. But I do think that these are the two best teams in the division playing each other this year. And no slight to Atlanta, because they're doing things with Bijan Robinson at the running back position, but I still don't think Desmond Ritter's ready yet to take that next step in the South.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting, because I knew the Saints were one of the most experienced teams in the NFL, which means usually that leads to success and wins. But the problem with the Saints is, outside of the offensive line, if the offensive line is creaky and dusty and stink, then that affects the entire unit. The offensive line is unstable, unconfident. Guys are dealing with confidence issues. It's too early for that. It's a month worth of football. You can't be in that mind state. And then, of course, you can kind of share this thought, is that it's attitude. It takes attitude. to be in a fierce offensive line, and the Saints are not playing with that confident, mean attitude. They're too nice. There's too many nice. We got to draw all that out, and we got to play with a focus, a serious focus to dominate. And this is the game which I'm thinking that the Green Bay game could be a catalyst insofar as to galvanize the Saints offensive line, which in turn will help the team move. Whether it's Carr or Jameis Winston in there, regardless of what's going on, it should be a W for the black and gold, strictly because of the fact that, you know, if Jameis is the guy, Jameis knows the system better than Carr does because he's been here for 3 years. So regardless of who it is that's there, they got to perform. And with 4 weeks in, there's no excuses for talking about no goddamn Russ no more. They have to show up. So there ain't no more Russ now. Brother James, the Russ factor has disappeared, brother. It's up out of here. So now it's all, if you looking bad, is because you are handling your business. You stink, and you need to take a shower. You need to refocus. You got to reset and get back to football fundamentals. That's what it is to me. So my call and prediction on the game, bro. I'm gonna have to say 27-20. I want to say 27-17, but the defense is good. The offense just it got to show me, man. I have to put the Glenn Jones on that. They're gonna have to show me. They're gonna have to show me because I know Alvin comes back. Alvin Kamara comes back, but I'm not expecting instant fireworks. They got to kind of work them in there. It's gonna take them a little bit. So I won't say 27-17, but I think I must keep it more 27-24. That's what I'm probably feeling on. But it should be a 10-point win by the Saints this game, because of the galvanizing factor, and there's no more excuses. Russ factor's gone. So last thoughts on this, Brother James, before we leave, bro.
Man, first and foremost, Q, again, thank you for having me on. I think it's going to be a good game. I just hate that it's this early in the season, kind of, because I wanted one more game before we got into our division games to see what we really have. We all know how it is, though. Everybody can't win every week in the NFL, and somebody going to be upset. But as long as I can see us moving in the right direction, if we take an L on the road, I can live with it. But like I said, I do honestly believe with Jameis being in there, our defense line gets enough pressure for us to come out victorious in the end.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of going to, the opposite. I got love for you, Brother James. But I got to go in the opposite direction, bro. I want to see our offense finally click. We need to click. And we do have the horses. Michael Thomas is healthy. We're getting Alvin Kamara back. Whether it's Derek Carr or Jameis Winston, both of these guys are professionals. They need to step up and make sure they handle the business in this matchup. And I've said, I think they should win by double digits, maybe 10, 14 points. But I'm kind of hesitant there because I know this team is learning slower than I thought they should be learning. I thought they'd be able to pick it up a little faster than this, but they're not. They're still times in the games where they're mistiming. The timing is not there. And sometimes we see it where it snaps and then they got it and then they keep it. But this team is learning a little slower than teams that I've seen before them do. So we'll have to figure that out. Brother James, thank you for popping in, bro. Please tell the people where they can reach you, my friend.
Man, again, like I said, thanks for having me. You can catch me on BGSE Network on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. My weekly show, The Big Game Sports Buzz, airs on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And that's really about it, man. And follow me on Twitter at JCan97 or at BGSE Network. And I appreciate it again, B-Dog.
Oh, always, my brother. I appreciate you coming in, dropping game, man. And for all the family members, please feel free to check out Big Game Sport Network, man. You're doing a lot of good stuff over there. Very knowledgeable, humble brother. Y'all see right here, know his squad, know a lot of stuff. Bro, it's a lot of stuff that's been happening in the football world, man, whether it's a pro or college. And then, of course, one of the biggest things I wanted to talk about this last night, my youngest son was kind of, credit to him, was promoting for me to be like, get on that, Bob, and talk to him about the Tupac thing, and all that. So, Yeah, Tupac.
man.
Yeah, the Tupac thing happened. I wanted to talk on that last night, but I was so tired, man. My eyes was red, looked like I was doing something I ain't had no business do. But it was just me. It was just me being fatigued. I don't do any of that, but yeah, man, we probably do something about that. I know tonight we got a lot of. Today's a really interesting day. My Tigers play later on. There's the Canelo versus Charlo fight tonight. So
I can't wait to tune into that one later.
Right. It's a lot of. I'm gonna be doing the play-by-play for the Canelo fight on the Ring Kings boxing platform. So a lot of great fight stuff going on today. A very busy day in sports as well. So big game. Thank you, man, for chiming in on this one, brother. Thank y'all, and appreciate all y'all for being here, man, as well. Y'all please feel free to hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to Big Game James platform as well. Brother doing great stuff. Hit our subscribe if you're not, and we're gonna holler at you on the flip side. Tomorrow I'll be on the stream. Every week every Sunday we'll be doing the Black and Gold. We'll be doing the pregame and the watch party during the game and post game with Pops Q pops up there on as well. So y'all be a part of that as well. I'm gonna holler at you on the flip side. Shout out to you, brother James, and I will see y'all later. Peace.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.